We all know we're supposed to be grateful, but how do you do that in practical application? On today's Coffee with Colleen, I'll go over 5 ways that you can be more grateful and implement it in your life. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. I'm Colleen Hammond. Wow, we've had a lot of technical difficulties on the day of this recording. So if you got to watch me live, you got to see the brouhaha. But today we're going to be talking about how to be more grateful. And if you're around a bunch of negative Nellies and people that are negative in your life, this is going to be something that you're really going to enjoy, because you're going to see how these people have really impacted the way you think. And the amazing thing is when you practice gratitude at the moment where you're really settling in and experiencing those wonderful feelings of gratitude, and you just allow yourself to wallow in gratitude, your heart rate, your respiratory rate, the chemical reactions that happen in your body that are extremely healthy. And actually, the day we're recording this is the 1-year anniversary of the day that I was declared cancer-free and I beat breast cancer naturally. And actually, if you're watching, you can register here at colleenhammond.com/cancer. And that's good to register for the webinar where I will show you exactly how I got actually healthier while I was beating cancer naturally, because a lot of people go through chemo and radiation and they get sicker. It's like we killed the cancer, but we killed the patient type of thing. So I'm sharing that. So that link will be good forever. So no matter when you're watching this, that link should link you to either the live or the recording of how I beat cancer naturally and got healthier. So part of that is gratitude. And when I started studying this, a year and a half ago, when I got the cancer diagnosis, I had the cancer before that, but when I got the diagnosis, I started studying about gratitude and all the wonderful things that happen within your body when you're positive and you're upbeat and you're grateful and that type of thing. So that's why I thought this would be a really important topic to tackle. So I want to go through 5 ways that you can be more grateful, because they tell you that you really should, just think of 3 things to be grateful for every day. And everybody goes, my health, the weather, my family. But really what you're supposed to be doing is finding new things to be grateful for each and every day. And I tell my clients to focus on 3 new things a day that they're grateful for. But sometimes you have to start with just one new thing a day that you are grateful for. So here are 5 practical ways that you can actually do that. Well, first of all, you can't improve something until you measure it first. So you have to have a baseline. What's your baseline of gratitude, right? So look at the things that you complain about and list the top 3 things. Listen to yourself, or have somebody tell you, if you trust and love a friend or a neighbor or a family member that much, say, what do I complain about? Well, you're always complaining about how people drive, or you're always complaining about the weather, or you're always complaining about, that you didn't sleep well, or your knee, or find things. And I'm not saying this is what my family says to me. Okay, a couple of them are. But find the top 3 things. So just write down those things that you find that give you a little bit of anxiety, that give you some angst, that you find yourself complaining about. So that you have a baseline, and listen to your self-talk. Do you complain about your spouse? Do you complain about the politics? Do you complain about your health, the weather, other people, how long the sermon was on Sunday every week? What are the things that you find that you consistently are complaining about in your head, not just out loud? So your family members may be able to tell you the things that you complain about out loud. Now go inside your head. What are you complaining about internally? And learning to change up that language is essential. So do you use grateful language? Gosh, I'm so lucky. Or do you say things like, I am the most unluckiest person alive? Because what you think about, you bring about. Do you say, I've just been blessed with these gifts. I have the gift of friendship. I have the gifts of my family. A friend of mine whose son is Downs and autistic says it's the best gift she's ever received. And I never wish it on anybody, but it's been the biggest blessing and the best gift. Do you talk about blessings? Do you talk about being blessed? What good fortune I have. I'm so lucky that I got a flat tire, because who knows? I might have gotten in a car accident over the top of the hill. I'm just feeling so fortunate right now. Or, well, there it goes again. Nothing good ever happens to me. What do you say in your head? So learning to use grateful language, words like gifts, luck, blessings, fortunate, abundance. Learn to use those words. Number 2, gossips. Wow. You got to stay away from the gossips. I've had to end relationships and friendships because they, after trying to say, I really can't be around this kind of time. No, they're a friend of mine. Please don't speak that way around them. I'd rather not talk about that. And after working with somebody to try to get them to stop doing it, finally I've had to just stop answering the phone when certain people call. So think about that too, because whenever you're speaking about other people, my goal is to never speak about somebody else unless I'm complimenting them. Otherwise, I just don't say anything. Even if I'm in a group and people are going on and on about somebody that I kind of know some stuff about, I'm like, I won't say anything. That's a whole different story about when you're allowed to say something and when's a good thing and time to say anything. And there are times that it's appropriate to say things and when and what. But in general, okay, this is a generality because there are exceptions to every rule, right? We don't live in a black and white world. There are 255 shades of gray. That never speak about somebody else unless you have something to say that's positive. Because think about that. It's always attached to some sort of drama. Ain't nobody got time for drama. It's just draining. Drama is draining. And I don't have time for it. I would rather reserve my energy for something more positive and upbeat than. So anytime you're around a gossip, you just kind of feel like you need to take a shower afterwards. It's kind of icky. And if you don't, then that's another problem we need to talk. So don't speak about other people unless it's a blessing or talking about their strengths, because it's a very quick slope to go from gossip to complaining. So that's not a way to be grateful and practice that type of abundance and blessings and luck and that type of thing when you're beating other people down. So even if you're not doing it, if you're around somebody else that's doing it, get away. Read biographies of people that you respect and want to be like. You know what? You want to talk about feeling grateful. Read some of these stories of the people that have gone through such horrible things. Oh my goodness, I wish I had that book in front of me. It's at the house and not here at the office. But Crystal Castles, I read it years ago. It just popped into my head. I wish it had popped in my head when I was making notes for the show, because then I got the name of the book, but I'll make sure I'll put it in the show notes. But it's a woman who was raised in an abusive situation. She didn't know any better. They were so poor that she used to take a Sharpie marker, and where her pants were ripped, she would color her skin underneath so that people wouldn't notice the rips. She thought that would help cover the rips. She's done super successful, multimillionaire. She chose to change her mindset and how she thought about things to leave all of that behind. So when you read biographies of people that you love and respect and people who you want to be like, you see what they've been through and you see the things that they've overcome. Did they focus on what was holding them back? Did they focus on the stumbling blocks? Or did they focus on their blessings and how they were going to overcome and the things that were going to happen that were going to be amazing? Read biographies. It'll give you perspective because you can see the challenges that they overcame and how they became a better person. How do they speak? Do they speak with kindness and gratitude? Or do they complain and cut other people down? Look at the people that you want to be like, that are successful in your definition of that word. Are they complainers? Or do they seem to really feel like they are living in abundance and wealth and happiness? And then always remember your bad times. I know we're talking about gratitude and stuff, but it's important to remember your bad times. Because once you read these lives of the saints, lives of people you respect, business, whatever, once you read their lives and you see what they've overcome, then you can look at your bad times and it puts stuff into perspective. I shared today on my Facebook, a year ago today, I had just started about a year and a week ago, I started doing live doing Coffee with Colleen, and in a public space. And a year ago today, I recorded a Coffee with Colleen 90 minutes before my doctor's appointment. 90 minutes before I found out I was cancer free. And I watched the beginning of it, because Facebook says, oh, here's a memory, right? And so I watched the beginning of it and I thought, I look so healthy. I look healthier than I do now. I look so healthy. I look so at peace. And I didn't know I was going to get a cancer-free diagnosis. I knew things were going well, but they gave me a year to really wrap it up. And I think it was 9 months. So I did not know. And I watched that video and I thought, I've lost a bit of that. So I want to get some of that back. So compare where you were a year ago. Compare where you were 5 years ago. Look at the things that you already have overcome and be grateful for those. Again, bench line. You have a baseline. You have to know that benchmark of where you started and where you want to be. And when you look at the things that have happened in your life, then you can really understand that you already have overcome a lot of things, and it gives you more things to be grateful for. Number 4, pay it forward. Volunteer someplace. And I don't mean go volunteer at the museum where you're around multimillionaires and letting them in the door. I mean pay it forward by volunteering with people that are less fortunate than you. Work with the homeless, work at a soup kitchen, go volunteer at Goodwill. Because Goodwill is great because they hire a lot of people that other people won't hire. With special needs, and you look at their situations and the things that they have, and then compare it to your life, or if you're in the position to do so, to travel to a third world and work there to see how they live and how they breathe and how they pray for us, because we're so materialistic and we've lost track of really what things that are important. So pay it forward. Give someone else something to be grateful for. Your presence. Hold a door for somebody. Just give somebody eye contact and give them a smile. That can sometimes be the greatest thing that's ever happened in somebody's life. Eye contact. People are on their phones all day long now. So sharing some eye contact would be great. Compliment them. And again, volunteering someplace, like not at the symphony. Volunteering and working with people that are less fortunate than you. And then finally, of course, journal. Because you can go back and look at these things and a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and see where you are now. So it kind of goes back to that benchmark and looking back in your life and see the things you have overcome. So pray a prayer of gratitude every day. Look for at least one new thing a day to be grateful for. St. Ambrose said, no duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. And all created things discern the providence and wisdom of God, and all things give him thanks. Thank God ahead of time. Solanus Casey said that. So just jotting these things down, the things that you can be grateful for. And I'm saying, yeah, it's important to journal about the bad things that happen, but make sure that you begin and end your day with a dose of gratitude. Okay, so your homework for this week or today is going back to number 1 of your top complaints. What are the top things that you complain about? And then your challenge for, let's start with one day. Do for a week if you can, but at least do for one day to not complain about those things, whether in your head or out loud. Look at your top 3 things that you complain about, or maybe just pick the top 1 if it's too difficult, but look at the top 3 things. No, you know what? I just scratch that. Take the top 3 things that you mostly complain about, and don't complain about those this week. And here's the kicker. You have to have some sort of punishment if you do what you're not supposed to do, right? So you can reward yourself at the end of the week. Well, one of the things you'll be rewarded with is you just be happier, number 1. Number 2, you'll probably be healthier too, just being more grateful and pushing all those hormones through your body. But you need to kind of do it the other side. Like some people put a little rubber band on their wrist and snap it. And other people will say, well, I'm going to donate to a cause that, like if I'm a Republican, I'll donate to the Democratic Committee. If I'm a Democrat, I'll donate to the Republicans, or, set some sort of punishment up for yourself that if you fail at this, or if you don't do this challenge, that in some way that you'll have some accountability. Because when you do this, you will be happier. And you'll find when you change the words in your head to words of more luck, abundance, gratitude, happiness, joy, that everything about your life is going to change. Discuss the beauty that you see around you. Look for things in life that you can be grateful for. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Do you ever watch an ant? They're amazing. You know, you can look at a bug. We got some bugs here at the office. I still have to have them spray again. And then third, so first is to challenge yourself to not do the top three complaints. Second is look for beauty in life around you. And third, get out a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and hand write a love note to someone. It could be a post-it note. It doesn't have to be a novel. Of course, I've seen some people have really tiny handwriting. They can get a lot on a post-it note. But with your hand, you'll be amazed when you type it. There's not much feeling there. But when you write something with your hand, it touches something deep inside of you. And you really are putting, those feelings will come out through that little cylindrical thing called a pen or a pencil. So those are your 3 challenges. Don't complain about your top 3 complaints. Discuss the beauty you see around you and write a love letter. I hope you've gotten something out of this. If you feel this was worthwhile, please like, comment, and share. And also share below what something that you're grateful for. What are you grateful for today? So that can get you started in your practice of being more grateful. And if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or on my blog, follow me all over the place and make sure you click the little bell on YouTube so you know when I go live. All right, I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. On YouTube, you will see in the top my most recent video in the show notes. Make sure you take a peek at that one as well. Take care. God bless.